All right, guys, welcome back as we are wrapping up the trilogy here on the scenarios for the Imperial Romans in SPQR. So this last one is called Weather the Storm, and the Romans are actually the defenders here. So as far as deployment goes, there's some interesting things going on here. But the picture kind of indicates this would be cool. Romans defending. So either you have like maybe a Roman city or village, or even like a fort or something that could make for a really great scenario. That would make sense. But again, you could sky's the limit really on your creativity. Maybe you're like defending a random like Roman manor or temple or who knows what. So again, there's just lots of interesting possibilities here. But anyway, let's jump right in. So both players have equal denarii as normal. The enemy player is the attacker. The Roman player, again, is the defender. So basically about 50-50 deployment here. As far as space goes, the Roman player deploys all their models first, and then the attacker will move on from the table edge. So kind of a reversal of what we've seen, where the Romans have had really just a great advantage to start with as far as the sort of deployment order and going first. And then here the attacker is also going to go first. So in typical scenarios, right, when you have to deploy first, you don't get to see what the enemy is doing as far as their deployment is concerned. And then the fact that they're going first on top of that is pretty brutal. So you here as the Romans, it seems like you have a disadvantage. But again, the other special rules for the scenario are going to really help you out here. So, as the Romans, different trains of thought here. Since you do get to deploy basically on half of the table, and depending on the size of the game too and the terrain, of course, you may wish to do that just to cut off territory from the attacker. You want to get set up in a really good defensive position, and then let the attacker sort of break themselves while trying to attack you, which again we'll talk about a little bit later when we look at the rules and conditions. Or alternately, depending on what the attacker has, you might want to just be a little bit further back, and if you're bringing enough missile fire, that gives you more time to potentially whittle them down as they come your way. So as the attacker, of course, and we'll see that again with rules and victory conditions, you're going to want to kill Romans here. Just a straight up fight in many ways, but it's going to be a little bit tougher, and we'll see that in just a second. So if it's more of a city board, obviously you'll be able to sort of mitigate some of their incoming missile fire, but a good Roman player might trap you in certain areas as well. So there's a lot of things to consider, but the attacker is going to have a very uphill battle here, despite getting to see what the Roman deployment is, and then also going first. So they're going to have a little bit of momentum to start with, but this doesn't necessarily mean all that much. Rome, unless the Roman player is just really bad, or the dice are horribly against you, or you just made terrible decisions. Imperial Rome is just always a solid matchup, or a tough matchup. Like they're just, the plain old legionary is just that good. So again, never just really a pushover. So let's take a look at the special rules, and we'll talk a little bit more. So both legionaries and auxiliaries were trained to fight in close order, supporting one another to create a united front, a cliff upon which enemies could dash or would dash themselves. So in this battle, so long as a Roman unit is within 2 inches of at least 2 other Roman units, it will receive a +1 bonus to its armor checks, which is bonkers. Roman armor is already fantastic to start with in this game, and then the defensive bonuses from parrying and such, and they're all getting another +1 on that. You're gonna have to stay pretty close to each other, but so basically, since there really aren't templates or anything in this game, this is one where you want to basically pack in together, form a solid battle line, even if you can stretch across the board, and then just let the enemy come to you and kind of create a couple battle lines, but just to make sure that this is all happening. So and then this just says Roman units, right? It's not specifying like legionaries or the sort of more the frontline units. This is like everything in this list, which is just bonkers, because that will also apply to just some of the typically weaker things. So like your weaker, maybe more auxiliary skirmisher type guys who don't generally carry heavy armor or anything like that, are going to get at least some armor, or in weird ways it might make sense to spend the extra points on giving them armor, because then you're going to get another +1 to it. So you're taking like no armor or light armor troops, and then suddenly turning them into like kind of like medium infantry almost, which is just solid. Even things like traditional, like just archers and javelin throwers, that kind of stuff, they're all going to get an armor bonus if they're close enough to other units and stuff. It's just bonkers. Like Rome just getting like a despite not going first and having to deploy all their stuff first, like you just set up a solid defensive wall with your forces here as the Romans, and just take advantage of that +1 armor all day. And then there's things like shield wall and stuff on top of it, or testudo really if you needed it. This is just an absolute uphill battle as the attacker. Like the attacker, you're gonna have to bring like overwhelming force, and really like you're gonna want to like punch a hole somewhere in the Roman line if you can, just to start creating gaps so that +1 armor rule will not trigger. Victory conditions: the attacker will win if they can remove half, rounding up, of the Roman units from the table. Again, either through injury or failure of will to fight. So, but hey, good luck, buddy, as the attacker here. So, like I said, you're gonna have to bring like just maximum force here, punch a Roman unit. I mean, I don't know what really you can bring that's going to punch a decently sized legionary unit with that armor bonus if they're getting it. That's just nasty. The Romans don't even have to kill you that fast. They're just going to stand there all day, make armor saves and parry, and then just kill a few of your guys each turn as you gradually as they gradually grind you down, as the Romans tended to do. And then you're going to be too weak at some point, and then they'll just push out, and at that point you're not going to have enough left to respond. So yeah, this is nasty stuff. You can't just like sit back and like pepper them with missile fire, because again, so many of the Romans have large shields, so they're going to get a little bit of defense from there, and then they'll just soak it up with pretty much good armor saves across the board. Like, again, unless the Roman player's making just stupid decisions or just horrible dice rolls, like consistent horrible dice rolls, they're just gonna I think win this. This is a tough one, but that's great. That's why we play. This is a great challenge. If you can overcome all this as the attacker and get that W, that's a pretty awesome thing. But Romans, again, take a look at the way the table is laid out. Find a spot where you can basically like make sure as many of your units as possible are within 2 inches of at least 2 other Roman units, and then just turtle up basically, or castle up. Sometimes that term is used, and just sit there all day. And I was just thinking about this. We talked about this in our faction review video of the Romans, but the Centurions, or sorry, yeah, not Centurions, the Praetorians are already kind of like busted. So just because they have multiple wounds, just like they're just so cheap for as awesome as they are. So giving those little bastards another armor is just kind of crazy. So hope you guys enjoyed. This is just crazy. Let us know in the comments if you have played this and what your results have been. And give us a like, to subscribe if you haven't already. And then other than that, hope you guys have a good day. Stay tuned for more.